I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time. Hello, ladies, and welcome to Women Awakening. I'm your host, Cynthia James, and I am so honored that I get to introduce you to magnificent women that inspire me and that are game changers on this planet. I am so grateful to be with you every week. I hope that you will subscribe. You can go to Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Amazon. You can subscribe in a lot of places and join a community of women around the world that are making a difference. So my guest today is someone I adore. And we have been around each other for many years. We've supported each other over the years. And I'm so honored to introduce you to Inga Canfield. This is the first thing it says in her bio. Inga Canfield is a whimsical invitation for feminine connection and embodies compassion and vulnerability as a transformative power to make an impact at a local and global level. She's also the heartbeat and self-described CEO, Chief Enjoyment Officer of her 20-year marriage to Jack Canfield. And you all know who he is, the international speaker, trainer in 117 countries, right? Also, Inga worked with Jack to create the Transformational Leadership Council in 2004 and regularly meets with TLC members, 160 global members, right? Authors and CEOs and movie producers and directors and coaches. I'm so honored to be a part of this group. I smile every time I think about it. So Inga, welcome.
Yeah, and Cynthia James, she's in that group. And it didn't get so packed with woman power until she joined, which was a few years after her dear beloved husband, Carl, whose picture is in my bio. I do need to update that and be a little more honest, because that was at least 10 years ago. So you know how our pictures, we attach to our younger selves. Anyway,
it's a great looking picture.
Right? It's the best picture I've ever had of myself. I have so much makeup on. I've never worn, and it looks really good. And you know, I'm like, my brain is flooding right now because I'm so happy to I'm so happy to be with you, Cynthia, with your beloved women. I know they're incredible. I know some of you, maybe not in person, but I definitely know your hearts and where you've been and how much we strive to grow and be our best selves. And I've been on that journey as well. And I'm always growing and I'm always moving toward my more true nature and my more excellent qualities that I know that are living inside of me, waiting to come out. And there's some waiting still. But
yes, well, Inga, I want to talk to you about that because I love that you're the Chief Enjoyment Officer. I want to talk about that because you have dedicated all of these years to creating love and family and connection and honoring the trajectory of your beloved, and at the same time standing in your own inner search. So I want to talk about that.
Wow, you said that so beautifully. I just would sit back and hear you describe my life. But the journey, it sounds very like, oh, romantic and poetic, but man, we've been together 25 years and there's been several times where luckily I'm with the most patient and one of the more mature men that I've ever met. Still, I feel that way. And I had to grow up a lot and I really needed to mature. And I came to the relationship in 1997 with a lot of trauma and things that I needed to overcome. But, I picked the right person because that has been my driving force. My motivation since I was a little girl was to free myself from this trauma. It kind of went dormant because I'll just say the thing that, I grew up in La Jolla in San Diego in a small idyllic town with this very sweet beach life. We lived a half a block from the beach. And then when I was 8 years old, my father, my daddy, committed suicide. And it created like, it put me, I was such an innocent and present. And I mean, I've never really changed this part of me. There's like a large childlike part of me. And then there's this other person that through Jack, I have become that woman who still holds those childlike things. But I had to go through the work to release the trauma. And
Right.
I feel like I am, and I'm going to go right to the present. This last year has been my happiest year. I mean, it's like, it's really hard to hold. This has been my best year. And in our country, you know, it's just devastating. Like right now in Texas, and we
Mhm.
could go there, but we're going to stay here. And that with Jack, um, this year he's been home, and this is a man who, I've shared him, and it's been really really hard for me because it had constantly triggered my abandonment issues and my feeling not good enough, because when your dad commits suicide, who you adore and he adores you, you really wonder, you question, do I deserve, I mean, am I good enough? I should have saved him. Lots of things 8-year-olds think. Lots of
Right.
us, we form these beliefs. And so in this year, he's been here every day. And for the first 3 months, my sister would say, "Oh, you must be so happy. Jack's home all the time." I go, "Yeah, well, he's in his office, probably trying to pivot his country. His country. It is kind of a country.
His company.
He's in there in the morning. He doesn't come back till night, and I see him." And then I realized that this story, this habit, these neural pathways, which you so beautifully talk about in your TED talk, which I'm going to come back to that. But I saw my habit, because that's what's another benefit of this time, is that we we're slowed down, so we can use this time very beneficially to really see things clearly and be honest and make different decisions. So
Yeah.
I really saw this man. You start looking for all the ways he loves you, I said to myself, because I have
Mhm.
a much better voice. She's firm, but she doesn't go, "You're such a loser. Like, you don't deserve to be here. You should just kill yourself." All these horrible, those things are, now there's just a firm woman who says, "I want you to start really paying attention." And man, there's like 30 nice, all day long, this man loves me. And
Right.
so wasting my time, um, fulfilling that prophecy for me, or whatever that was, is it's gone. So we have had so much love, and we're very compatible, and we play ping pong and Scrabble and walk, and we share all the things that are going on, and it's been really really special. And I do feel like my trauma is healed.
Wow.
That, I
Well,
mean, yeah.
I love uh, I love all of this, and there were so many things that were running through my head when you were speaking. Because first of all, to overcome trauma is a job within itself. As we're evolving and progressing. But what I loved is what you said about that being with Jack, got to bring forward your mature person. And I want to talk about just a little bit about being connected to celebrity. Because I was married to a celebrity, and there's a delicate balance between supporting that individual in their glory, holding your own space, and finding the ways to continue to feed the love while they're out in the world doing what they're doing. And so, what do you think was the biggest challenge for you to find that balance?
Wow, great, such a great question. I feel like I've really, to find that balance, I had to do the deep work of valuing myself, knowing
Mhm.
that, and that's the other gift of this year. I really see what my gifts are, and my the value I bring, which is very personal and intimate and vulnerable and honest and authentic. Not that Jack isn't, but his
Mhm.
focus and his is on this trajectory, his mission in life. We're very differently designed, and I had to grow myself enough to see that the metric system, that my vibrancy that I can measure my worth on is different than his is kind of measured on his um, the work that he does in the world. He's here to do that work. And me supporting him and then being authentically myself inside this relationship and really nurturing my relationships and being a day maker. And I didn't name myself that. Jack, he named me that about 13 years ago, because there's a book by David Wagner. It's a gorgeous little book about how he's a day maker. And
I gave that book out at one of my conferences. It's an incredible book.
Yeah, and he's like, Inga, this is you. You know, my phone messages, the quality time that I put into everything I do, the love I have, the enjoyment I feel. It's a very natural part of who I am. I'm such a nature lover and a life lover, and that could all spring out of me. And before I would derail that, and I would compare myself to Jack, and I came out very, very small, I was insecure, and these things were derailing the beauty of who I am, that I can even say to you women, and that the beauty of who I am, you know, this self-love that I do feel now. And while I'm enjoying you, I'm also enjoying me, where before I was giving so that you would just like me, that I would just be okay, that I was earning my keep, you know, and that's not there anymore. And the slowdown has really, really brought that into fullness that I don't know that I could have. I was getting, because I have a beautiful teacher, Dawa Tarchin Phillips, for the last 9 years. He's a Lama and he's a dear friend. And I have really learned to pivot. I know what my motivation is. I'm very grounded. I never feel lonely or, I can experience loss without disassociating, because that was kind of the way that I operated, because the loss was too great for an 8-year-old to handle. So shut down all my life. And now I can feel the grief, the collective grief we're all going through, and I can stand firmly and know life is good. I trust life. I'm good with, so I don't, that
It's so incredible what you're saying. And I guess what I want to say to the women that are listening to this, every one of us is on a journey. Every one of us is on a trajectory, and we all have moments of insecurity and doubt and fear. But what you do with it is the thing. And so you have spent a lot of time, you spoke about Dawa, but you spent a lot of time in meditation and doing spiritual work and doing healing work for yourself, and then sharing it with others. Tell us why meditation is important to you.
Oh, because knowing my mind, that the openness and the natural state of my mind is one of the more wonderful. It's the thing that the space where all the qualities live, where, my wisdom and my compassion and my love, my great love for life and for people and animals, where in that natural space, I can connect with that. When I remove these obscurations, or by sitting, you can recognize the truth, and you can let those little boats of thoughts just go by. By sitting, you build like a muscle of being able to stay in the openness. And so in life, I can catch myself. I remember, oh, you're off on I'm thinking about this and how it needs to get changed this way. And I go, you're not here. It's like living and so I can choose, and I have the muscle to bring myself back, and therefore enjoy what's going on here, and also bring my gifts to this moment.
Oh, I love that, because I've been meditating for over 30 years, and I have a lot of energy, and my mind goes 100 miles an hour. And so meditation has really, exactly what you said, it's brought me to being present. It's brought me to being able to just allow to hear my inner guidance and my intuition, and instead of like my mind taking over and hijacking everything. So,
the one thing that I think is really for me is when I want to do something and it's my will, I feel like an energy pushing me to do it. Call that person back down, react to this, do that. And I go, no, I wait for it to rise. So I used to always react right away and do something, which got me in a lot more trouble and created a lot of cleanup work for me. Now I just can recognize, and that comes from meditation and being in your body for me, I'm in my practicing embodiment,
Yeah. Well, I know that you have been working on bringing your thoughts and experience to a book. And tell me a little bit about that journey for you, because I got to tell you, for me, I've written 4 books, and every book starts with, "What are you doing?"
Such a beautiful guide. It's such a beautiful book.
But it's like, do I have something to say? Is anybody gonna? I mean, all those thoughts go through my head. So how's this process for you?
Oh my gosh, it started in 2015 after I went on a pilgrimage to India and came back, and really those things that I just shared were starting to sit in me, and that I really had something I wanted to share, because I have a lot of close friends, and they're always, I have good insights. I'm articulate in sharing my inner journey, and I thought I could share my journey with more people. This could be, but I had to overcome like my mother's words in my head, like, oh God, like we need another memoir. People, really and so all I can hear is like, put my pen, oh God. And you're only, anyway, the process, I hired a dear friend, she, an accountability partner to get my butt in the seat and to check in on it. I wrote it. And then some things happened that created a little trauma and stopped me. And so and Jack actually edited it. He's like, you just need an ending here. And I'm like, no, I just panicked. So for 3 years it sat, and now I have an editor, and oh my God, she is so fun to work with. And she's sculpting what I've written into reflections on loneliness, loss, and love. She said, Inga,
Oh,
she said, this is a love story. And it gives me chills, because she has 2 assistants that are in their 20s that say they have gotten so much value and like from reading, and they're so inspired by what I'm writing. So to me, that's every motivation to keep working on it. And the working title is Stepping Out of the Shadows.
oh my gosh, I love it. Inga, I'm so proud of you. And I think it's going to be of great value to a lot of people. Before I ask you my last question, I mean, I know you're not, a Jack out in the world, but if people wanted to contact you, do you have a website or someplace where they can go and see you?
I will. But it's still just Inga. It's funny. Inga at jackcanfield.com, my email, because I don't have a website,
Okay.
So I'm still like next door to Jack with Inga at Jack Canfield, but anyway, I saw.
Well, that's okay. I mean, wherever they can find you is a good thing.
Can I just say one thing? Oh, I just want to say your TED Talk is so beautiful, Cynthia. I just have to say that I gave it to a dear friend who's in recovery, and I said this should really be shared with people in recovery, because you distill it down in such an embodied way, things that I knew that more deeply, like, oh yeah, that is how to move through from your negative past and things holding you back and habits you want to change to the person you want to create and be, who we all want to be that. But how? And in 12 minutes, you really lay the groundwork in such a Cynthia James way. Nobody can do it like you. You are such a dear friend. And in TLC, my first memory is that you just caught me when I was completely disassembled and put me right back together by holding the space for me. And you're so in such a gorgeous way. I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too, Inga. And I'm so grateful to be in this journey with you. I ask the same last question of every guest, because this show is called Women Awakening. What is the one thing you want women to know about the possibility of their awakening?
God, I think just who you are is good enough. Like starting with it really is, and then act as if, and then get the support and the things that touch you to take the next step. Because I just see people who are they're frozen. The women, I see them, and I just want to offer a hand, that who they are, authentically who they are, is good enough. It's beautiful. It's totally needed. Like the Dalai Lama says, the women of the Western world are going to change the world. I truly believe that. So if we all offered They're our unique gift, whatever it is, without comparing it to your neighbors right over there. It's good enough. It's
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh, it totally is. I'm so grateful that you've been here, Inga. I'm so grateful for your joy, and I'm so grateful that that sweet, young, innocent part of you is alive and thriving. It brings joy to me, and I'm sure to all the people in your life. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I feel so seen by you, and I think that's the most important thing in life, when you feel seen and when you see somebody. So thank you very much for having me, and all of you for listening and being here. I feel very grateful.
So, ladies, Inga, is just one of the amazing sparks of light that have come on this show to inspire you to be the best that you can be. Because here's the deal: you are magnificent, you are powerful, you are dynamic, you are a unique impression. Nobody can do what you came here to do the way you came here to do it. So, your only job is to wake up, to be in your truth, to bring your authenticity and shine your light. I'm so grateful to offer these gifts to you so that you have touch points where you can step out. I hope you'll subscribe to the show. Know that I love you, and we come here every week, and I'm excited to spend time with you. Have a great time, and I'll see you soon. Bye.